good to have you here. Just a word to say tonight, to say that if you will be having a communion service as normal at the end of the evening, and there are elements of bread and wine on the table here, if you haven't brought your own. Our stilling will be given by Julia this evening, and Suzanne will lead us in a reflection, and then I will celebrate communion. So welcome one and all, and please don't forget that you're warmly invited to participate fully in Holy Communion when the time comes.
We are here. We are now. We are here in this building, not outside in the street, not in our own houses. We are here in this building. We are now. We're not yesterday. We're not tomorrow. We're not even 5 minutes ago. We are now. So as to bring ourselves into this present moment, we could do a body awareness exercise. Just being aware of where we are and how we are feeling. So it's good to get yourself comfortable. We want to be relaxed but alert. And you need your feet flat on the floor. The floor will support you. You're not going to float up to the ceiling. You are grounded. Be aware of any sensations in your feet. And be aware of your legs. Maybe you can feel the pressure of your clothes across your knees. And take your attention to your thighs and your bottom on the chair. The chair supports you. Be grateful for the chair. Take your attention to your torso. Nice and upright, but relaxed. The upper body not sinking down into the hips, but being light. If you have any discomforts or aches or pains, just allow them to be there. Take your attention to your shoulders and your upper back. Feel the weight of your clothes on your shoulders. Observe if there are any tensions anywhere. You may be able to let them go. Observe your hands resting gently in your lap. You may want them to be open to receive. Take attention to your face and to your nose as you breathe. That breathing in and out that you do all the time, mostly not noticing it. Notice now each breath as it comes in and out. And notice the passage of the air across your upper lip. Notice if the in-breath is cool or warm. Notice if the out-breath is different. And as you sit straight, imagine that there's a string from the crown of your head that's drawing you upwards nearer to the ceiling, and yet you are still firmly settled here on the floor. Now I will leave a space of silence for a short while you make that circuit of your body in your own time. Maybe your mind has wandered off a bit. Don't worry, that happens. You can just bring it back to your feeling of awareness of this moment. And every time it goes off, you just bring it back. Rest in this present moment. You are here. You are now. You are.
Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the desert. Words from the book of Isaiah. I always think when I hear these words that they are both challenging and comforting at the same time. They hold so much hope. The old prophet is telling us that God is saying, "What? Have you not got it yet? Do you not see what I'm trying to tell you?" There's almost a tone of frustration or certainly encouragement. There is hope for the future. You are not doomed because things haven't gone your way or you fear that you have got things wrong. I have seen to redeeming the past. Don't keep looking back. I'm doing something new in your life. I am bringing order out of chaos. Picture the scene. I am building a road in the wilderness, a safe way for you to go, a clear path already set out for you. I am bringing rivers of water into the desert, into the dryness. Refreshment when you get tired and weary. A means of revival and encouragement. We have, and indeed we still are, coming through such difficult times. Yes, the pandemic. Yes, the realization that climate is changing, at least in some measure, because of how we have treated our planet. The absolute horrors of man's inhumanity to man across the globe through terrorism, murder, and abuse. The disregard of human life and dignity that we observe through dominance and war. We need to hold fast to the hope of Isaiah's words. I am doing a new thing. In the present tense, work in progress. I see the heartache and sorrow and offer hope to comfort the suffering. Maybe you don't see it quite yet, but there is a promise in here. How do the ordinary you and I grasp onto the depth and personal application of this? It's a huge question. Isaiah wrote these words about 700 years before Christ. How are they really relevant today? Except through Christ. Isaiah was primarily called to prophesy to the kingdom of Judah, a nation that had turned a deaf ear to what God was saying. It was threatened with destruction by Assyria and Egypt, but was spared because of God's mercy. Isaiah proclaimed a message of repentance from wrongdoing and hopeful expectation of God's deliverance. Is it so different today? The deaf ear. In fact, is this not exactly the message we need to hear in our world corporately and in our own inner individual worlds? The message of hope. I am doing a new thing. We're going to do an examen now, much like a daily examen, using this reflection. I will read these verses again as we begin, and then follow through the reflective points of the examen with times of silence for you to be in this here and now that we've begun with. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way for you in the wilderness and streams in the desert. And so we begin by consciously asking God for light, for awareness under the canopy of these words. Maybe you would like to invite him to show you what you need from these words of hope. Stay with the process of asking for light. And now in our examen, we're going to offer thanks to God. Do you feel inspired by hope through these words? What would you like to say to God about that hope? Maybe it's thanks. Maybe it's that you don't feel that hope. Either way, he's listening. That's something to give thanks for. And now we are invited to review the road travelled. The times of wilderness, things that have been personally difficult for you over the last 1 month or perhaps 6 months. As you look out of the rear view mirror, what do you see? Is there movement of light and dark on the road? What has brought joy and excitement? And what has brought trial? So spend some time reviewing the past that takes you to the present moment. And then we're invited to confess, to own our shortcomings. God invites you to tell him, perhaps the thorny ground that sometimes chokes the good in you. Oh, how common to humankind that is. God invites you to feel safe as you reflect on this. To confess, knowing that he receives. King David writes that this honesty and awareness and desire for change delights God's heart. So continue with him in the silence, in this. And now we look ahead. See, I am doing a new thing. Let's sit in the silence for a few moments longer with the hope of that promise. I am doing a new thing. And so we leave these prayers before God and close with a sung blessing.